Hi, dear friends. This is Vasilina Orlova, and I'm recording another video in my series that I began to record in order to outline what I would love to do to people as a coach. I've opened my time to people in 2000, what is it, 24? Man, it's already 24. Anyway. So I had various directions that I outlined for myself, right? For which I would love to coach some people who would want it. Unleashing creativity in particular in writing, but also in art, because I've been doing art as well, apart from writing. Decluttering, because it's extremely important to have space at least for your creative pursuits, including art and writing too, because sometimes archives take quite a bit of place. I said I would want to talk about breakup and relationships, and I mean, of course, that's such a huge topic, and a lot of people are specifically trained to do it, but we all are permitted to have our opinions. And the fourth direction that I wanted to do is academia, which is, of course, very closely related to writing. So this video, I'm just going bit by bit by the steps that I outlined in my first video. And this step is relationships and breakup in particular. So why breakup? Well, breakup is sort of a form of a heartbreak. And the heartbreak is the bigger topic than the breakup, but breakup is more practical. So I thought that breakup would be interesting to people because breakup is such a strange event in your life when you conversed with somebody, you were very close to somebody, and suddenly it all just falls through, and there is this impossibility to continue the relationship recognized by either one or both parties. This is the period in life that can be very traumatic and that can be very dramatic, and it can absorb a lot of emotions, and it can take a lot of time to go through it. So that's a very difficult time in life to live through. And I thought I will extend my invitation to people who experience that to come to me and to talk to me through it. Because I think what is important when you experience a breakup is you have to have some ears. You have to have some ears, and you might want to go to a therapist also. That's a great idea to go to a therapist, especially in particular because therapists are bound by certain rules of confidentiality, whereas coaches formally aren't. But on the other hand, of course, I think it's a good idea for any coach to abide by confidentiality rules if they want their business to survive at all. Anyway, and we of course strive to abide by ethical rules. We strive to be ethical, otherwise we cannot really exist as professionals in this sphere. So it might be a good idea to go to a therapist, but you might also want to go to a coach. And I think what is making coach a more interesting possibility here is that unlike therapists, coaches are allowed to tell you what to do. And believe it or not, but I know what to do. Yeah. So I can outline it for you. That's like not a secret. The sessions are more for encouraging you to abide by this and to allow you to actually, ease yourself into this state. But basically what a person in a breakup has to do is they have to reattain their own autonomy. They have to come back to themselves. They have to accept breakup after whatever period of fighting, initial period of fighting, you have to kind of let it go. It's very difficult and it sounds very like it's much easier to be said than done, but it is very necessary if you at some point want to be in this place where you would want to rebuild this relationship with this person, not this relationship, but the new relationship that you're gonna have with them. And if you want to rebuild your other relationships, because most likely in the contemporary world, of course, often if you were just dating partners, you split apart and that's it. But if you had family together, if you had kids together, if you have some property together, chances are that your breakup, it's not the end of it. It's like, it's this death after which you have to resurrect yourself and go on living, go on existing, go on being happy. However, it is very important to take the time for yourself to grieve. And this period of grieving that is going to ensue, it's going to be at a minimum 2 years. Now, of course, you can overstep your breakup much faster and become normal functioning. But you will still, I would argue, probably get stings for 2 years. Like I would say that's normal to have the period of grieving that will last for 2 years. If you read this marvelous book by Roland Barthes, a French philosopher, about his mother, that I think the Diary of Grieving or something. I'm gonna Google it and like type it in the description of the video. That was a diary of him being deprived of his mother because the mother died. And he wrote every day just a little bit about his grieving and put it together, and that became a book. So what I'm saying is that this provides a perfect roadmap for anybody who is grieving such an event as being deprived of a loved one. And for all intents and purposes, it's breakup. It's a sort of death. It's the sort of the end of relationship with somebody to the point that they are not playing that role in your life anymore as they used to play. 2 years is normal. You have to give it yourself. Like if you would attempt to make steps out of this place of grieving and make decisions about your life out of this state of grieving, out of this aggrieved state, that would mean that your heartbreak and your breakup is dictating to you what to do. Like if you want to embark on further dating, you can definitely do it, and it's a good thing to do, but that's maybe not exactly fair to your partners, because to your new partners, because you're making them into solace, or you're making them into this witness of your heartbreak and of your breakup. Now, of course, I mean, you can totally do it, but it's going to be better for you if you did it to a therapist or coach, depending on what you want to do with your further life. Of course, the breakup can be very traumatic in terms of rejection that is involved in it, and that's actually related to academia in a weird way, because, academia is the feast of rejections, and the breakup is a rejection that is layered. So what is happening with rejection is that when it hits you, it's like it brings back all the memories of all the rejections that you have ever experienced in your life. And we, as serial monogamists in our current society, more often, or sometimes polyamorous, ethically, unethically polyamorous, whatever, but people who already have been through some sort of relationships, and people who already been through some sort of breakups and ends of those relationships before, people who experienced all sorts of rejections before, right? From the rejections of your parents who were at some point very busy, for instance, and didn't have that time and that warmth for you that you needed. All of that can, like, at that moment of painful rejection, of painful breakup, it all can return. So what makes the breakup so painful is that this is not exactly this breakup only. This is, at this moment, you are like recollecting all sorts of visions that you had for your future and all sorts of alternative universes that you're growing out of that relationship. All sorts of breakups from the past and all sorts of rejections from the past are coming into play, and they hit you together. So that's the very painful moment for anybody. And I'm here to tell that, of course, healing is possible, but it's not going to be quick and it's not going to be easy. So what the first thing to do, I think, is really take your time and make somebody a witness of it, meaning confide in somebody. Again, either a therapist, a coach, it can be a friend, but you know what? It's not also very fair to your friends to trauma dump on them, let's say, right? Like even, I think even therapists probably can't really like be trauma dumped. Like you have to develop, you have to establish some sort of rapport with them, I guess, but maybe you can, I don't know. But the thing is, you do have to make somebody a witness to your pain. Otherwise, you will be in pain alone. And that is not good, because if we are left with our pain alone, nobody else has time for it, nobody else has energy for it, we are going to deal with it in a very convoluted way, to the point that if people have prolonged grief, that is actually, that becomes a disorder at some point. Like it becomes this sickness that needs to be treated already professionally, and that is definitely by a therapist, by mental health counselor, by psychiatrist. Maybe they can give you some prescriptions, by social worker, somebody who has the power to give you prescriptions. Not every breakup is like that. I mean, this is kind of a natural pain that we will experience. Like, this is not abnormal. So it's not like if you experience it, you have to have some medications or whatever, you have to have some professional consultations. But it's good to have somebody to witness your pain. It's good to have somebody to share it with, to confide it to, and to share with somebody. The other thing is that will help is journaling. This is what Roland Barthes did, and that's how he produced his book. Now, our journaling in this kind of situation, it doesn't have to become a book. I mean, potentially it would be, like, of course, many authors, many writers, many artists made their breakup into their treasure, to which they would return and from which they would extract quite a bit. They would write out the whole novels out of it. Actually, one of my novels was written out of the divorce that I had in my 20s with my first husband. And that writing can be extremely therapeutic, but also you don't have to publish it, but you can publish it, is what I'm saying. The thing is, you want to be journaling about it. Yes, I think that in addition to telling somebody, you cannot really tell, I mean, maybe you can, but usually people cannot really tell every bit of their painful moment to somebody. And so this is where journaling is coming into play. If you write it, it can be extremely therapeutic. Yes, so the thing is, you have to be stoic, you have to embrace this new life as an entity. And the reason why I think breakup is very painful is that it's a rejection that is getting you ostracized from your loved one, but also reminds us, like, reproduces this whole horrible experience of being thrown out of the society as a whole. in most societies, if you are thrown out, you cannot really survive. And this particular breakup, it feels very often as if we are abandoned by the whole of humanity. So this is not so. This is, you are still accepted by pretty much everybody except for this person with whom you broke up. But this is how it could feel. A person cannot survive without society. So you have to be on your autonomous, on your on your course back to autonomy, back to attaining full autonomy. And by full autonomy, I mean that you are totally and absolutely reigning into your in your things. You are not hoping secretly that they will return. You are not hoping that everything will be back to normal magically somehow. You are not making any decisions from the place of being hurt and from the place of being abandoned. You are not dating them. You are not dating anybody else just to show them, or even not just to show them, but with this secret thought that you're about to show them. You are becoming a completely autonomous person on your own, who is again able on this new stage to imagine a better future for yourself, to imagine a better future for everybody, including your partner, former partner, to imagine better future for your children, to imagine better future for your parents, for everybody. You are starting a completely new life. You are returning to yourself. You are reclaiming your power in yourself. And you are not making any kind of decisions that you will regret out of this place of breakup. So if you want to talk about your breakup, I'm all ears. I'm very sympathetic and I'm very warm when it comes to that, because I know that that's a very painful situation. As a poet, I know everything about heartbreak. This is what we poets do. We basically always break our hearts. This is our profession, right? So yeah, you are welcome to book a session with me. And I'm hoping that despite all, or thanks to everything, you are still having a great day today. Okay.